Hello everybody, welcome to Global Cajon. In this chapter we are going to start talking about playing music already and also about tangos, which is a very nice flamenco style. Hope you enjoy it. The different styles in flamenco are called palos. Tangos are a palo or flamenco style and it's in a 4/4 time signature. It's very strongly accented in 2 and 4. Accents that frequently are enhanced by the claps or palmas. Like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the most basic tango pattern, which is almost only the skeleton of the style. 3, 4. This variation of tango is probably the most used tango pattern. Notice that it is played with a 1-1 technique. All of the other variations are actually very similar but with a few other different tips, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Where do the bass notes go inside of the pattern? Let's see this on the cajon. Let's play 16th notes with 1-1 technique and only making the accents in the bass. Okay, let's go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Also pay attention to the high note accents located immediately before the first bass note and immediately after the second bass note. It's easy to remember. The first accent goes in the 16th note before the first bass, okay? Right before. And the second accent goes in the 16th right after the second bass, okay? So let's go. 1, only bass. 2, 3, 4. Bass, 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 bass. Now I'm going to play an accent right before the first bass. 1, 2, 3, and. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 4. Okay? Now the second accent is going to go right after the second bass. If the second bass I'm playing with my strong hand, the accent has to go with the weak hand. Let's go. Only the bass. 3 and. 1, 1, 1. Let's go. First accent. 3 and. Second accent. Go. The last tip, the second high accent, you don't always play it, not all the time. So you put it here and there, okay? So like 3 and. In this tango variation, we are alternating one-on-one technique with some double strokes. The pattern starts with your strong hand making a ghost note, that in my case is the right hand, demonstrating an important characteristic not only in this particular style or palo, but of many flamenco palos, which is the little importance given to accenting the first beat of the measure. In this tango variation, the strong hand only plays the first beat and the bass notes. All other notes, ghost notes and accents, are played by the weak hand. Let's say, in my case, that's the left hand. One, two, three, four, one. Notice how, although changing the hand pattern, the relationship between high and bass notes remains the same as in pattern 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. One, two, three, four. The trickiest part of this pattern comes with the weak hand. Notice that right before the first bass, we have an accent, but that accent is really the second note of a double stroke in the weak hand. It's the weak hand and it's an accent in the second stroke, so that's the trickiest part of it. Let's do it very slow. 3 and... See? And 3 and... Okay? You have to study that part very carefully because it makes the pattern work. See? So study slow. 3 and... Okay? One, two, three, four. One, two, three, four. This tango variation is another hand pattern to reproduce the same groove. It's very used as well. We start with our weak hand, which in my case is the left, playing beat 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Making a little 5-stroke roll starting at 1 and then following the same pattern as in example number 2 makes a similar effect to a maraca, kind of. Be careful not to abuse of this device, let's say, because it might get too busy if played on every bar. Maybe every other bar is okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's another pattern to play tangos or rumbas that is technically weird. You have 3 notes, consecutive notes with your strong hand, which makes it not very comfortable to play, but at the same time, and probably because of that reason, it sounds very groovy and has some weird subdivision inside. It doesn't feel very comfortable, but you'll see when you get it that it sounds great. So, as in many other folklores around the world, the technique limitations sometimes make the groove feel weird and great at the same time. So let's take a look at it. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can also add a hi-hat on the upbeats to all these patterns. So in a way you are resembling the clapping or palmas. 1, 2, 3, 4. One, two, three, four. In the next example, I'm playing rumba or tango, depending on the speed mostly. But then I'm playing a snare backbeat in 2 and 4. So it's a great pattern to use in flamenco pop or flamenco rock. In my strong hand, what I'm trying to keep is the 1, 1, 1, 1 of the rumba, okay? The tumbao and the accents. And here I'm playing 2 and 4. So check it out.
otra vez.
In this chapter, we talked about tangos. Tangos, we learned that is a very important flamenco palo. And basically all the variations are different ways to play the same idea. So you don't have to learn them all. Choose a few and apply them everywhere you can. If you are going to learn only a few, I would go for the patterns number 2 and 4 for being the most common. Well, I hope you enjoyed this chapter. You can find many other chapters of the Global Cajon method in my YouTube channel. Also in my website or Facebook, you can find the index to see all the chapters. See you around. Adios.